So, friends, let's break down the long-awaited exercise for the abdominal muscles about how to do this position. That is, in order to change the position of the vertebrae and start training the stomach, that is, the abdominal muscles, you need to create conditions first for training the abdominal muscles. To do this, first of all, you need to increase the mobility here in this part of the thoracic spine. Because if there is not enough mobility here, if there is a hump, such a position of the vertebrae, then during the training of the stomach, very often it can start from this position. That is, you had one position of the chest cell, it can go down. That is, this hump can bend over. Therefore, it is very important in abdominal muscle training to start with the development of chest mobility. The first exercise. To do this, lie down on the roller. Take the roller as it looks like. Here you lie on it. You lie down approximately with this part. Right here with this part where your shoulder blades will end. When you raise your hands up, now I will show, and in this position, your spine. It will make such a movement. It will only bend as much as it needs to for you to stretch it out again. Not in the lumbar region, but right here in the thoracic section of the spine. The thoracic section of the spine is capable of bending and unbending. Even these sprouts are arranged in such a way on her. And the first thing we're going to do is to increase mobility. In the spine's chest department, you need to lie down a bit like this. Take a roller, preferably a soft one to start with. You don't need a hard one right away, and you lie on your back, placing it underneath. Place it here approximately, and throw your hands back. Here and in this position, you relax. And just lie down. You need to lie in this position here. And the ribs, these start to kind of lift. Slightly upwards here, and it starts to stretch in this position. The straight muscle of the abdomen. The upper part if the hands do not lie here, because of clothing or lack of mobility, while in the shoulder joints, you can bend them, put them here. If you lie down, then you put them and lie like this. Try to stretch out a little with your hands. Pull them up here. Pull them up. And in this position, it will be easier for you to stretch in the chest department of the spine. So you lie for a minute or two. Well, a maximum of 3. At first, there might be discomfort on the big spine, or the muscles might pull here. There might be tension. There might be tension in the spine. If it's strong, then you need to soften the roller or make it smaller. If it's like a light stretch, that's good. That's the first thing you start with. You need to increase the mobility here so that the chest cell starts to move a little. This is the bending. This is the exercise you did. It's 1. Yes, then you can use a harder roller. But as you train, when you stop feeling any load, you can use harder ones, like these. But here it's better if it's wider, not too narrow. In general, this is the first stage you do. Yes, then the second exercise, which you can do during the day at work. You can also do it to increase the mobility of the chest section of the spine. This is sitting on a stool. You sit, you lean back a little, and here you start to bend back. Do this movement once and back, once here and back, and here either you put it under or you change the position of the pelvis, and on different parts of the spine of the chest department. This movement you do, and look where it gets worse, where better, where it seems you stay longer. For example, you sat like this. Yes, here you have hands. You can raise it up here. It will be a little heavier. You can do this. That is, you take the elbow of one hand and the elbow of the other hand. And in this position, you start not with the head back here, but with your hands as if you are pulling. That is, you are pulling your elbows back here. If your arms are straight, you pull your arms back here. You make a movement right back here. You rotate to this part. If it's too hard here, you can put something underneath to make it softer. It's better to put your arms here and make the movement with your arms. First, move back here if the mobility of your arms is good. Keep your arms straight. If it's difficult, then do it like this. Do 10 to 15 repetitions, like this. And now you start doing it together with your head. That is, you bend back and try to look up. Here, that is, the bend will be even more. But with your hands, you try to make your head go back. And you try to make your hands go further than your head, here, so that they go back. You made a backward movement and returned. You made a backward movement and returned. That is, this was one level. Now, remove, for example, a pillow or something you were propping up and do it at a different height. That is, it will be slightly higher. And the same thing you do if you are just starting this exercise. If you've been doing this for a while, you can do it with your head and straight arms. You can do it from the height of your spine. It also depends on where in the chest department your movement will be. So this is the second group of exercises. To increase mobility in the thoracic spine, and after you've noticed that your movement there has improved, after you felt that the thoracic section started to move a bit here, you can already move on to the actual exercises for the abdominal muscles. And it's very important to start training them from this stretched position. Here you have added a new volume. Yes, here, here, and here. This part needs training. For this, you are again. From where we started, you lie on this roller. Here you lay down on it. Here you lay your hands. So in this position, a lighter version when your hands are down. Here the muscles stretched, the elbows here they raised. And here you start. Raise your head, hands can be put on the elbows. You raise your head, you will feel how they are down. Here they are lowered, but here down, and do not look there. Never when you do. This exercise, up from there. Look here and up, raised, lowered, lowered. The more will be the height of this thing, the more will be the load. But it all depends also from how much mobility you have good in the chest department. Hear this. Here is a lighter version, a little more complicated. This is when your hands are not behind your head. You do. So as not to pull yourself here or on the head, you can put him like this. Here you can. And in this position, you raised, lowered, lowered, so that you have stretched here first. That is, you first give a good stretch to these muscles, and then you raise from this stretched position. You stretch, then you raise. And third, you do this with straight arms. Here you lift yourself up with straight arms. We made a move, held it, then did it again. We did a little, held it, then did it again. Here. The higher the roller, the more you can do. If it sinks, you can do more. The higher, the more load there will be. But this should be done when you already freely move your chest department of the spine after you have learned to do it on the roller. You can do similar exercises on the fitball, for example, on the ball. The only downside is that your lower back may bend more than your chest department. That is, this is what you need to start with. An exercise on the stomach to form this correct position